Hey everybody, it's your girl Danny Nicole. I am one of the hosts of the Brave Talk Show. So guess what? We're offering an opportunity to all entrepreneurs to promote or advertise their business on our show. For more information, please contact us at t.n.e.networksllc@gmail.com or visit our website at www.tnenetworks.com. Hey, have you seen the show yet? Check us out on YouTube. And if you like it, hit like and then subscribe. How about that?
JT Thompson, and you are live watching the Elite Life Show here on TNE Networks. Man, we got an awesome show for you today. I'm just glad that you could tune in and join us today as we will welcome Dr. Latoya Benjamin to the show. Definitely looking forward to speaking to her and talking about some of her experiences as, we live in uncertain times and just getting some insight on just, how, everything is living in certain times and with health and wellness and things of that nature. Just an array of information that, she has for us. But just want to get into this. If you want to be a guest or you want to advertise on the Elite Life Show, please go to elitelife57@gmail.com. Leave your information and we'll definitely be able to get back with you. So we definitely want to welcome our guests on to the show. And so we're back from break and definitely want to welcome our guests into the room now. Dr. Latoya Benjamin, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Can't complain.
Awesome. So just want to introduce you to our audience here at Elite Life. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
As you mentioned, my name is Dr. Latoya Benjamin. I'm a native of Rock Hill, South Carolina, born and raised. I am a school teacher, 7th grade science teacher in Lancaster, South Carolina. But I do some other things on the side. I do some nutritional counseling with Get Fit with Troy Fitness Center. I do a lot of community stuff, tutoring. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So I'm highly active in the community when it relates to people, making change. I have 2 girls, ages 11 and 10. So I'm a busy mom, very active person, and very family oriented. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Definitely, and I will say my mom is Delta Sigma Theta, so I definitely am familiar with how that goes, and I've seen it all my life. So I know what it is. Definitely, that's cool. Let's talk a little bit about the society we in and raising young girls and what you want to instill in them. What is your approach as far as giving them the insight and some of the jewels that it takes to go into the, they're in that stage where they're getting ready to go into teenage years in a few years. So what are you concentrating on trying to instill in them?
Well, that's a great question because my initiative has been, since I've finished my doctorate degree, is to be more of an advocate for our brown and Black young girls. When I got my girls are not biologically mine. And so being a single parent and having kids coming back from a challenging background, I have wanted to instill in my girls that they can do whatever they want to do. Don't let nobody tell you you can't. Don't let your environment succumb your success. So if you work hard, the reward is greater. And that's something that I preach to my girls every single day. So one of the things that I want to do while I have this platform and try to have a voice is to build something for young Black and brown girls and create leaders. I am a believer in that. I feel that as a minority in science, especially, we are not given our due process. And so that's what I want my girls to do. And that's what I strive for them to do. And I don't make any excuses about it. I don't let them, fail. I don't believe in the word I can't. And I definitely don't believe in, excuses, period. And so that's what I've been kind of pushing with my girls every single day. That you got to expect more of yourself because society is not. And education is your key to unlocking so many things that you want to do. So that's kind of my drive. That's kind of my force when I go out here in the community and I talk to even my students. I see them. You don't have to be a baby mama. You don't have to do that. You can be so many things. And even if you are, a mother, a young mother, that doesn't mean that you cannot taste success and be who you want it to be, but it's just going to take work and prioritizing. And so that's kind of what I push in my girls.
So when we go back to how important education is, what was the biggest motivating factor for you when you started on your journey to achieve more knowledge and more education? What inspired you to do that?
Well, for one, my parents. We living in a different generation. And, our generation, they see what's on TV and that's what they want to become. And they think that let me take the easy route out, whatever's fast and quick, let me take that. But I had parents, my mom did not have college education, nor did she graduate from high school. My dad, he graduated from high school, but he didn't do anything else. So I came from a family who, because they didn't do it, it wasn't a choice for me not to be able to not do it. You had to go to school or go to the military. Those were my options. But my father instilled in me at a very young age. He exposed me to colleges. I went on college tours every year from 8th grade until I graduated. He made me take SAT tests when I was in the 6th grade. He instilled in me just doing it, making sure that, this is what you want to do. This is what you're going to do. So that kind of started my journey and instilled in me. And I think as parents, we are our kids' first role model, and we are our kids, biggest supporter and motivator. So if we don't value education, then they're not. So the fact that my parents wouldn't allow, like I couldn't bring home C's and D's, it was an expectation that was set in my household, to achieve excellence. And you could not think that you wasn't going to do that, So it started from me then. And ever since then, I've always been a driven person. I set my goal for what I wanted, and I didn't want to be a statistic. I knew that. I knew that I wanted to be a scientist. And so that's what I strive to be. I worked hard to get to that point.
Awesome. I'm gonna pull from the mailbag because I put out to the people that listen to our shows and watch our shows any question for upcoming guests, and I got this question in for you, Dr. Benjamin. It says this: how important do you think it is to financially be sound as far as saving and being able to set goals for yourself so that you can be able to obtain the things that you want and also survive when we go through emergencies or things that are out of our control?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. That's an awesome question. Savings is, I say this and it's truly, truly important. But even though I say this, it is a struggle for folks because you got to think about, I don't know anybody's financial circumstances, but they got to start somewhere. You got to realize what's important, and you got to prioritize and balance your needs and your wants. That's a very important thing. And so for me, in this time, in this crisis, savings by far is the most valuable thing that folk can do. Whatever little bit you can put back and sit back. Even, you know, I do a Christmas savings every year for my girls. And what started me for doing that savings is because I'm a single parent. I'm on a teacher income and I don't have anything else. But it took me going through how I'm trying to figure out how much to give my kids a Christmas, you know, that I feel that they're worthy of. So, and it broke my heart that, oh, I can't buy this or my kid wants this. So I started saving. I sacrificed. Savings takes sacrifice. We have to willing to be able to sacrifice even in this time that we are in now, and think about what truly matters to us and how we're going to get by and not rely on the government to save us. And that's what we're doing. So, but folk don't know how to do that. They don't know how to save, you know, and I think education is key. Education is key. They got to read. They got to understand what the importance is and know that it doesn't start with a large sum of money. It may start with a small amount putting aside. One of the valuable things that I learned with savings, and I just got to the point where I can really be confident in what I'm saying with savings. I started following Dave Ramsey's method with using cash envelopes. That was my first thing, because I was like, you know, every summer I struggle with trying to get my kids back to school stuff. How can I make it easier for me? And so I started reading, I started researching, and that's what I tried to find a system that worked for me. And I put myself on a budget and I started to sacrifice. Then I opened up an emergency fund. And so out of my check, I have X amount of dollars come out every check towards an emergency fund that I can't touch. It's like out of sight, out of mind. And so that has helped me too. And another thing I would tell people when it comes to saving in this incident, income tax. Income tax is like a reset button. But people look at it as, oh, well, let me take this money, let me get this new car, let me do this, let me do that. And this is your chance to reset your whole entire life. Take that large sum of money and pay up stuff as far as you can, a month in advance, 2 months in advance. And then whatever money you have that you go towards that bill, put it in savings.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised how that accumulates and makes your life so much better. Like, you know, but we have to sacrifice. We have to be willing to sacrifice to save, especially during these times of need.
Definitely. Let me ask you this. Where it pertains to the word respect and the word of being in leadership, how do you define those two things and how do they come together in as far as a quality that you would want to execute given those two foundations in those terms?
Respect is earned. I don't demand it, I earn it. And the way you earn it is your whole being, your whole spirit, in the things that you do. People look at you for what you do and how you do it and what you say. I'm a person who I believe in saying what I mean and meaning what I say. And when people see that and they see that loyalty that you provide, then it's easy for them to follow. And I think that you got to be a visionary too. And when people see that you are trying to make change and you're genuine in doing that, then the respect will come. And I also believe that leaders are born to be leaders. There's a lot of people out here don't know their leadership quality, but people are born to be leaders. And you have to rise into that occasion. And I think that's for me, that's been me. You know, I always have been told to speak and talk about what I believe in and not be a follower. If I see that Jack is doing this, even though it looks good, sounds good, that don't mean I have to follow it. You know, set my own path and see if people want to follow me. But you have to be willing to embrace and understand that if these people are following me, I need to make sure that they are protected, that they understand that I support them. And I think, and I listen and communicate. being a leader on my team at school, I think that's what I pride myself in. I don't show bias. I look at the big picture and I listen to everything that they're saying and honestly give my opinion. It's not about telling you what you want to hear. It's about being supportive and seeing if I can trigger something that'll turn on that light bulb and be like, oh, okay. But I do believe that respect and leadership will come. It's like it's a line, but it's a fine line. In order to get that leadership, you have to allow them to and show them that respect that's deserving.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And that leads me to my next question. In your opinion, in our lifetime, do you think that we will see a female president voted in during our lifetime?
Honestly, I don't. I don't think that the world is ready for a female leader. Hillary Clinton, I think, was the closest that we were going to get. And honestly, I would have loved to see her in the White House. I think she's definitely capable of running it. But I don't think the world in general is ready. Now, I think we have to take smaller steps. So I think with this election, I would like to see, possibly a female vice president. I think we have to see that first. We have to see that if we have a woman in at least a vice president role, then possibly the future is open to having a president, a female president. But I think we got to start baby steps.
Why does it seem like women are still having to prove their worth, even though it's several examples as to, how women can be in leadership, how they can, how they're intelligent. You're one of those examples of that. Why does this still the stigma of women still trying to prove themselves and trying to get equal pay and be seen as, being capable of, creating things, teaching, being in instruction, doctors, lawyers, and all of that. But why does it still seem like it's still a step behind where we should be today?
Ignorance is bliss. And I feel that people have to be willing to change their mindset. We're not in the barbaric ages. We're not in those, back in those 50s and 60s where women were only homemakers and, can cook. And I think that the more we start seeing, and women have to be able to speak up and fight for that. I don't want to say that I'm a feminist, but I'm a strong believer in that we can do mostly anything that a man can do. And I am a believer in, equality, but I can ask the same question about race. We're still in that same struggle that no matter, we done had a whole Black president. And, we're still having to fight to say that we can do and we can, but people are just not ready to change that because they still, in that back in the day mindset. And I don't think that's going to ever change. I really don't. I don't think that it's going to ever change, no matter how many African American people we have or how many women we have that's shown, power and that they can do. It's not going to change unless households change that conversation and teach the children coming up that we're all equal in equality, no matter who you are, man, woman, Black, white, brown. It doesn't matter. We're all created equal and we all have the same blood that travels through our body, but until homes, parents, and people like that can respect that and start educating a new generation about that, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to change.
What is the biggest misconception from when we came up to the generation that we're seeing right now? What is the biggest difference, and what would be one thing that you would pass to this generation, learning from where we came from? What would you pass on to this generation as far as being successful?
Stop trying to take shortcuts. Life is, in order to get to the top, you got to work. You can't look for an easy out. And it's interesting you said that. I run a little homeschool at my house since, we're on remote learning. And I have a little boy now that I work with. And it's interesting. We were doing some math problems. And he was now they got this new math where you got to do this whole long thing to multiply.
Yeah.
Well, he was, one of his assignments was multiplying 2-digit by 2-digit numbers. And so when I went to go check his work, he had finished it and turned it in. So the teacher gave another assignment for him to do, doing the same thing. So I was like, okay, well, what is it that you have to do, and blah, blah, blah. And I saw him punching on the calculator, doing his work, right?
Yeah.
Well, when I went to go tell him to do another assignment, he struggled. He couldn't do it. So I said, I thought that you did the work. You submitted it and all of this. And he was like, yeah, I did. I said, oh, but you used the calculator. And he said, yeah. I said, well, won't you do it the way that your teacher wanted you to do it, which was this lattice method? Oh, he struggled. He couldn't do it. So I told him, I said, but see, this is a learning lesson for you. See, you took that shortcut, but look how much work you got to go back around to do just to get back. If you would have did it right the first time, you wouldn't have to do all of this. So we had this whole conversation about trying to take shortcuts in life. Chasing the dollar, wanting to see the quickest, easy money maker, and I'm a believer in, if you are I don't care if you are a garbage man, or you work at McDonald's, or you're a lawyer, or you're a doctor. If you take pride in what you do and you're passionate about what you do, money will come.
Yeah.
You got to work hard. If people see that you work hard and you believe in what you do, then those folk will flock to you. They'll want your service. They'll want to be around you. But when you take shortcuts in life, then it's always going to come back to bite you. You're going to have to work twice as hard because you tried to do that. And just go through the process, set goals, and believe in yourself that you can do it. And that's what this generation is. They're lazy. They're looking for always an easy way out. They don't believe in the hard work. They believe in technology, which is crazy to me. Technology is great, but it's a curse and it's a blessing. But they believe in it. They think that this is the way out. I mean, we can see it now. How often do we have communication? But this is what this quarantine has taught us, is how to communicate. You're going to have to pick up the phone, talk to people. You're going to have to video chat people because we can't see people. But it brings it back home for us of, the value in this relationship and communicating, because we don't do that enough. But I think that this generation is just so tech savvy. And I see it with my students. They can't tell me how to write a sentence, but they can show me how to go around and jailbreak something on the computer. So, I think that this generation, they don't believe in working hard and what it means, like our parents did. 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet and doing that type of stuff. That's what we saw, and they don't believe in that right now.
When you see a kid that's been categorized or labeled, what is your approach in order to try to get through to them, to let them know that they can overcome whatever they've been labeled, has, or whatever obstacles or what they feel like they've been challenged with? How do you try to get to them and get them to where they can be successful?
The biggest thing in education that I think that some teachers don't take advantage of is building a rapport with those students. What I do with my students is I get to know them. It ain't about where you come from. It's not about your grades. And my worst kids are always my best kids, because somebody took time to get to know who they are. And it's all about, hey, how are you doing? Well, what did you do this weekend? So once you get to know that kid and, just to get outside of what they're doing in the classroom, then you find out, well, what is it that you want to do in life? What is it? And it might not be going to college. And that's okay. What I'm saying? That's okay. And that's the thing that I would tell that student who has been labeled. It's okay. What do you want to do? If you don't want to go to college, you don't have to go to college. But I always encourage them to want to do something. Take a trade. You know, what is your
Yeah.
passion to do? You know, do you like to fix things? You know, and let's try to focus on that. You know, let's focus on a short-term goal. Let's graduate.
Yeah.
That's half the battle. You know, let's do
Yeah.
that. I mean, you know, and sometimes it may be, you know, just wanting somebody to listen. So much in education and with students, we take, you know, the baddest kid and we do label them and we say that, oh, such and such is so bad. But it's a reason for everything.
Yeah.
We don't know their home life. We don't know
Yeah.
that they picked this up from somebody else. But if you sit down and you get to know the kid and know a little bit about them, then you can reach them and change them, because kids want structure. They want somebody to love on them. They want
Yeah.
somebody to listen to them, and that kid would change. And so for me, that's what I do the first few weeks of school. I don't preach academics. I don't preach none of that. I just try to really get to know who my kids are, even if it means, you know, going to their neighborhood and
Yeah.
seeing them, you know, supporting them. They love that. And then eventually that worst kid would become your best kid, because they feel that, you know, Dr. B got my back. She gonna listen to me. And I'm not labeling them and say, oh, well, you did that,
Yeah.
because that's your history,
Yeah.
you know, but we got to
Yeah.
change it. We got to change that narrative.
Yes, indeed, we do. I'm gonna finish up on this. How important is staying healthy and being knowledgeable of the wellness that goes along with balancing everything out where it pertains to your health?
You have to make you a priority. Think about it. You think about how much healthcare costs. It's $1 billion industry.
Mm.
And you can go right to the supermarket and the produce and make yourself all the more better by what you put in your body. We are literally what we eat. So if you cherish your body like it is the temple of God, then why would you want to not take care of that?
Yeah.
But see, again, it goes back to what I said earlier. We always looking for that easy fix. I want to lose 10 pounds. Let me take this pill. Or let me try this fad diet. Or let me try this. And then it never works, because the time you eat a carb, you eat a piece of cake, or you eat this, then you blowing up. But diet heals. Diet really does heal. So that's so important, especially in this time that we're in now. You know, it's so important to take our health. And it's not about eliminating things out of your diet. I don't believe in eliminating anything out of my diet. I believe in enjoying food. And it's about how you enjoy it, okay?
Yeah.
And moving. You know, if we can get our diet together and start incorporating more of our raw veggies and fruits and fresh stuff, and start taking time to cook, which is what this quarantine has taught us. You're going to have to cook. You got to prepare. You know, you got to start taking care, because now everything's shut down. We can't go to fast food.
Yep.
So you're going to have to make your fast food at home. But it's forcing us to be mobile, get outside, walk, enjoy the air. You know, that's so important. So if we take time to understand how much money you think about, and I used to tell my dad this, think about how much money you pour into medication every year. Copay, going to the doctor. You know, think about that for 1 second. Now you equivalent that type of money, and then you think about, oh, well, if I took the time to eat a salad every day, drink water, or, you know, eat some apples or oranges or whatever, you know, just eating more clean. Think about how you will feel, your body. Now, just to say this, Sherman, I'm 41 years old, and I can probably count on one hand how many times I've been to the doctor.
Wow. Wow.
Because I pride myself on my diet. And I still like to eat chips. I still may have a cookie every once in a while. But I know the importance that I've never taken medication. Ever.
That's awesome.
Never taken it. So it is important. And I wish that, I hope that at the end of this, that folk really do some reflection on their diet. Because it is really 80% of what you put in your body and 20% of what you do. So if we don't be our own walking billboard for health, I mean, and to depend on the the doctors to do it. I hope that we change that.
Definitely. Wisdom and gems that you dropped all throughout this interview is something to build off of. And it is, mindset is very important, and being able to hold yourself accountable and,
Yes.
hold to what you need to be doing in order to be successful. It's just amazing to have you on my show. Definitely tell people how they can follow you or get in touch with you if they have a question.
Well, my email is K as in kite, Benjamin as in my last name, 08@gmail.com. If you're looking for more of nutritional counseling, since I do consult with Get Fit with Troy, you can find me at nutrition@getfitwithtroy.com. And my social media page is Kiki Benjamin, KIEKI Benjamin.
Awesome. And I don't ever say goodbye. I always say to be continued. We definitely will have another interview and another installment on the Elite Life Show with you, Dr. Latoya Benjamin. It has been an honor and a pleasure, and definitely look forward to the next time that we can sit down and talk and really chop it up and get some insight on thoughts about what's going on in the world and what's, and how do we create a better life, what I'm saying, just looking at ourselves and just saying, you know what, I can do it. I can, I can do anything that I set my mind to. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is impossible if I go about it the right way.
Absolutely.
So I thank you truly, and may God bless you in the rest of your day, and look forward to the next time that we have you on the show.
All right, thank you.
Awesome insight from Dr. Latoya Benjamin. She was this episode, of Elite Life. We appreciate y'all. Again, if you want to find out more about this show, just send an email to elitelife57@gmail.com. Also, go to the website, www.tnenetworks.com, to watch more shows, on the network. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to t.n.e.networks.llc@gmail.com, or go to the YouTube channel and hit subscribe. We appreciate everybody that tuned into this episode. And until next time, remember, you can survive 8 minutes without oxygen, but you can't survive 1 second without God. Take care, y'all, and God bless.